recording too, and they can always come back.
I
All
got it.
right,
Okay.
awesome. Thank you.
Now I'm gonna slip to the background now.
Thank you, Matt.
Thanks.
Okay.
So,
So,
okay, say I'm Lauren, and I'm on the Member Services Committee for Buckles, and we are here with Cindy, and she is with Midwest Library Services, and she's going to give us a little overview of the services that they have to offer for ordering books. Hi, Cindy.
hi, how are y'all?
Doing well.
Good, good. If you caught the y'all, yes, I'm from the South. So, but I cover all of the Southeast and up the East Coast. So New Jersey is part of my territory. If you're not, I'm going to remove this so I can see you. If you're not familiar with Midwest Library Service, we have traditionally been more in the academic market. So most of our customers are colleges and universities, and public libraries are not as familiar with us. We have had large public libraries with, they have special collections or reference departments. But we are really excited to move more into public library services. We are based in St. Louis, Missouri. The company was started in 1959 by Howard Lesser in his garage, and we have grown from there. So if most of you are familiar with how Baker and Taylor works, we are a little bit different than they work. We are a small family-owned business. We do not have multiple warehouses. We have one warehouse in St. Louis. We do not stock a big inventory. We go out and get what our customers are asking for when they order it from us. So if you placed an order with us this week, we would turn around and order it from the original publisher first. And if they're out of stock or out of print or whatever reason we can't find it, we do go to other sources to find the book. We find new books, not used, unless they are out of print. And then we will go to the out of print market to find those if you want us to, or else we can cancel those titles. So we are filling 90 to 95% of all of our orders. The majority of the titles come in within 2 to 3 weeks to your library. We can do cataloging and processing. We do all of that in-house unless you want your paperbacks pre-bound, and we can send those to the bindery and have a hardback binding put on them. That usually adds a couple of weeks turnaround time to the books. We do offer discounts that range from net up to 33%. So if you're ordering mostly trade hardback books, the new stuff that's coming out, it's going to get that 33% discount. Paperbacks will get a 10% discount. And if you're ordering anything that's older, small press, a replacement or something that's been damaged that you need to go back and fill in older titles, those are the titles that get net up to about 15%. And you're probably not ordering too many of those. We do charge shipping, which is 5.4% of the invoiced price. We can offer free shipping if you can commit to $10,000 over the course of a year. And that's just a verbal commitment. You tell us you can do it, we put it on your account, and at the end of the year, we sort of evaluate where everybody is. That is the only optional minimum that we have. So otherwise, we do not have a minimum order quantity. If you want to order one book at a time, or if you want to order a lot of books one time a year, that's your call. We do have an online ordering system. So it is basically the Library of Congress database, and it will let you look for any title that's out there. We'll get anything that's published or distributed in the US, the UK, or Canada. You add titles to the cart and send the cart to us. You can have multiple users. So if you have selectors that select for different areas and send the carts to one person to do the ordering, we can set all those routes up however you want them done. It's very flexible. We also offer standing order programs. So you can do children's books award winners on a standing order or auto ship. We've had a lot of people ask us for auto ship of specific authors, so we can set those up. And then every time a new book is published by that author, then we would send it to you. That's a quick overview. Our online database, which I can show you, was designed for academic markets, so we don't have as many selection list options for public libraries. It does show you the New York Times bestseller list, so it has adult fiction, nonfiction, children's, young adult titles, and we have several weeks on there that you can go through. We also have the ALA Award winner children's books listed on there. And you can search our database by title or series or author. There's several different options for searching on there. But if you're looking for lists of here's the new books that are coming out for public libraries, we are in the process of creating some of those to add to our database. We were coming out with a new version hopefully by the end of the year anyway. So we've kind of stopped that and said, let's go back and add some of these things that the public libraries are looking for. So if you have something that you really liked about Baker and Taylor, let me know, because I keep sending things in to say, hey, try to do this, see if we can do that. So we're small enough and flexible enough that we try to get that done. I guess that's a quick overview. I don't want to bore people. So if you have questions or where do you want me to go from here?
Myself. There we go. Sorry about that.
Okay.
So we did have one question, and I'll get to the ones in the chat too. We did have one question that came in before this meeting, and I think people are confusing Midwest Library Services with Midwest Tape. So they're just
Yes.
wondering, like, do we, can we order books, which you do offer?
Yeah, that happens all the time. For years, we've been, public libraries have come to our booth at ALA and thought we were Midwest Tape. So we're very used to that. But we are completely separate companies. We don't have anything to do with each other. We are print books. We can also do audio CDs and DVDs. We don't do, I know a lot of people get their Hoopla subscriptions through Midwest Tapes. We don't do anything like that. We do, hardcover, hard product. So we can send you DVD or CDs, but mostly it's print books.
Great, thank you. And someone was asking too if we can do a little demo just so that they can see the interface and see how everything kind of works.
Absolutely. You want to do that now, or do you have other questions that we need to cover?
Yeah, I think that's the only other question we have in right now. We
Okay.
can do that, and I can always go over questions that we've had in the previous meetings as well.
Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay. This is the first screen that pops up when you log in, and I tell people to just ignore all this writing. The new version, I think this is all going to go away, but it basically tells you what every screen does, and I think you can figure it out for yourself. The best place to start is our express ordering. Everything you need is up here on this drop-down menu. So if you go to the express ordering, express entry, it will let you do a one-item search. So ISBN, author. It has LC class on here, and I know y'all are all Dewey. So that's one of the things we're hoping to change, is to be able to search by Dewey number instead of LC. Series or title, and if you do title, you can do begins with, contains the string, exactly matching, or keyword. I'm going to search by ISBN just because it's the fastest. I brought my list here since I'm not in my office.
I'm gonna say thank you for taking time out of your conference that you're at to show us everything.
I was happy to do it. And it's an academic conference, so it's a little bit switch gears what I'm talking about. So I keep doing these demos with the same books that were sitting there in my office. So it tells me that this is a duplicate. So when you put in an ISBN, it's going to pull up the exact title that you asked for. So this is the hardback edition of this book. If you had searched by title or series, it would pull up a list for you to select the one you want. And if you selected one, you selected the hardback, it would tell you if there was a paperback or a large print or some other version of this title available. And you can change the one you want from this drop down. But since we did ISBN, there's only a cloth here. It does tell you the publication year, and this is something we're changing with our new version. We're going to have the exact publication date on these titles. So we've started a new program where if you send titles to us pre-publication, we will go ahead and get those orders into the publisher so they can send the title to us as soon as it's available, and we can turn it around and get it to you by that publication date. Everything on our database is publisher's list price because of the way we operate and that we don't stock the books in a warehouse, we don't always know what we're going to pay for them from the publisher. So we do not have discounted prices on here. We do not have inventory, so you don't have to look to see how many copies we have in each of our warehouses. You just order the book and you know we're going to get it for you. If we can't get it for you, then we notify you right away. But if you're ordering mostly new trade publications, they're going to be available and we should be able to get those for you. Because I've used this before, it tells me it's a duplicate. It will tell you if you've ordered it from Midwest in the last 24 months, it will come up and tell you when you ordered it and your invoice number. If you have multiple people that have access and are doing selection, it will tell you if it's sitting in their cart. So you can see that, oh, my other selectors already picked this book, and then you can say, place the order anyway down here, or if it's not a duplicate, it would say add to cart. You can't, our system requires a PO number. If you don't use PO numbers, you can put anything in that field that you want. If so, a date, a name, whatever you want. We also use fund codes if you require those. You can set up a list of fund codes and select them from a drop-down menu, just like with your order carts, you can set up as many as you want and select them from a drop-down. So you can do that with the fund codes as well. If you have multiple branches and you need to put branch codes in here, or if you're getting cataloging and processing and you want your location code on your spine label, like juvenile or adult or reference, you can indicate that on here, and we will pick that up and put it on the spine label. If you don't use any of those, you can just leave them blank. You don't have to fill these blanks in when you send the order. For your carts, right here in the middle is manage my carts. So you can set up as many carts as you want to, and you can name them anything you want to. You can move titles back and forth between the carts. And if you're done with one of them, one of these that are empty, you can delete them and create new ones if you want to. The selector is, if you want to put your different selectors' names in here to tell who selected the title, you can put that in. Vendor notes, we get those notes. So if there's something you want to tell us about this book, I always use the example that, there are people that publish books out of their garage that are down the street, a local person, you feel like you have to have them, but you can't set up a whole vendor code and everything for them. If you put their contact information in that vendor note, we'll go hunt them down and get the book for you. So anything like that that you need to tell us, you can put in the vendor notes. Internal comments are for you. We don't ever see those. So if you wanted to indicate someone requested this title, you can put that note in there and you will see that throughout your status reports and your open order reports that are on our system. So if this is the book you decide you want to buy this book, I'm going to buy it again for the third time, say place order anyway. It's going to add it to my wish list cart. It asks me if I'm sure that, did I know it was a duplicate? And then it will clean the order format and you can do another search. Search by series just to give you a quick look at how that works. I don't know how fast the Wi-Fi is here in my hotel room, so we'll see how that works out.
And say maybe while that's loading, there is another question. Like, are there
Okay.
any oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. Are there any plans to try and implement discounts into the system? Because I guess it helps with budgeting. It's really hard to say if you don't know how much a cart will cost before ordering.
Right. We've looked at that in the past, and the way our system is set up, it was just difficult because when we order from a publisher, they might publish a book that's a trade book that gets a 30% discount, and they also publish a book that's a more of a obscure type title. They didn't print as many, and they only give us a 5% discount. And by looking at the title, we don't always know what that discount's going to be. So it never really worked for us. It has come up again with the public libraries, because I know y'all are mostly buying trade books. So it might be that we can figure out a way to get some of those discounts into the system. You can, once you build your cart, it will give you a running total of the publisher's list price. And if you know everything in there is a new current trade hardback book, you can assume a 30% discount. Some of them might get 33, but it will get you close to what that amount is. If you know some of them are paperbacks and some of them are hardbacks, then you might want to drop back off of that 30% discount a little. And once we've gotten a few orders from you, we kind of know what your buying trends are, and we can come up with what your average discount always is. So we can work with you on that. If you really need to know a closer number, you can always reach out to me or our customer service people, and we can sort of look at your order and give you an idea. And hopefully down the road, we can see if we can do something different about putting some discounts on here. It just depends on how we can work that out with the publishers. So I know Baker and Taylor did that. They brought those books in and had them in the warehouse, so they already knew what they paid for them. So it made it a little bit easier on them. So I hope that helps. So this is the list I put in the Hunger Games series, and it just pulled up everything that's in here. So you can pick the one that you decided that you wanted. When it pulls it up, if it's not the one you want, you can always go back to view last search results, and it will pull the list back up for you. I'm going to order this title anyway. I'm going to add it to my cart again. You can also, under collection development, is our ALA award winners and the bestseller list. So this is the New York Times bestsellers. It tells you what rank it is this week, what it was last week, and how many weeks it's been on the list. And it will give you, this is hardcover nonfiction, but you can also do fiction, paperback, children's, and you have this going back to August. So if you want to go back and look at the previous weeks as well, and you pick the title that you want to order, it pulls up the same order form. Everything looks the same at that point, and you can add this to your cart as well. These are the kinds of things that we're hoping to add, like book club lists that come out. I know we've already been sent screenshots of what Baker and Taylor's new release calendar looked like. So we're hoping to add, once we get the more specific publication date in there, which is in our new version already, we will be able to put out lists of forthcoming titles, the new releases for you as well. So you've added several books to your cart. Under pending actions, view cart is your list of carts, and I have 2 carts open. If you have other people that are submitting orders to you, they're set up as selectors, and when they submit their cart, they would come to you and it would show up under their username. So they're not all mushed together, and with your orders, they're all kept separately. You can click on just their cart or one of yours, or you can click on all of them at one time. So I'm going to go into this wish list cart that I've been adding titles to. It will tell you the title. Here again, this is the publisher's list price. If you've ordered more than one quantity, it will give you the total. And at the bottom, it gives you a running total of all of those titles. There is, over on the right-hand side here, these buttons that indicate that these titles are ready to order. I've put these 2 on hold because maybe I don't want to order them yet. If I decided, yeah, I don't want to order them, I'd rather delete them, you can mark these for delete. And when you submit the order, it will do whatever these buttons have told you to do. I don't know how many people actually use those buttons. If you wanted to hold a title, you can just move it to a different cart. You can click on the title and you can say, okay, I don't want this in my wish list. I'm going to put it in a different cart and say revise pending order. And it's gone out of this cart and over to another one. You can delete a title if you want to. If you decide you didn't want this, you can delete it. You can change the quantity, the price, whatever you need to do right here. Once you have decided, yes, these are all the titles I want to order, you just check the box and say approve, and it sends the order to Midwest. It will give you a confirmation number. I deleted one title, I ordered 11. The system is set up to provide brief mark formatted order records. So if you have an ILS that you want to load brief records into, You can turn that on with this system and it brings the mark record in right here. And then you can save it to wherever you want to save it. If you don't get those, or don't need those, then we just turn it off and you never see that. We also have the option to do ISBN Express, which will let you copy and paste multiple ISBNs into this box, and the system will go search for them all at one time and put them in a cart for you. So it does ask for the same settings. So if you want, it has to have the same fund code, branch code, because it's going to put the same one on every title in that cart. Once you've ordered your titles, under account activity, confirmation history, it will save a copy of that order to the confirmation history. Mine don't have any titles in them because they don't let me order anything, but this would normally list that entire cart that you just sent as an order. So you don't have to save a copy somewhere. It's going to be listed here. Account activity will also show you order status. So you can see everything it's on open order, invoiced order, or canceled in the last 24 months. So with open orders, you don't have to put any dates in or anything. It will just pull up a list of all your open orders. It will tell you the current status of that title. So whatever we know about it, you will know about it. If you've set up to get cataloging and processing with us, it will tell you the book has been received and it's being processed. If you don't get that, then the book just moves right over to the invoiced list. So as soon as we get the book in for you, it goes on a shelf for your account. We take everything off that shelf, those shelves once a week. So you would receive a shipment from us once a week if you were ordering on a regular basis. This particular customer, they've sent in a new order here, so it gives us the new order. It was Friday. These are on order with the publisher. Scroll down and see if I can find you some with some status reports. This title is out of print, so we're telling the customer it's out of print, and we're searching it on out of print market. Here's one that's not yet published. It's due in December. So we're holding it until that publication date, and we'll ship it at that point. The ones that are in red, if a title changes or a price changes and you've told us you'll take anything that's within a certain dollar amount of your original order, then we'll send it to you. If you've said, no, I want to know if the price changes at all, or if the price really changes. I think there was one in here that went from $45 to $75. So we indicate that on the status reports, and you can click reply and send a reply to customer service, whether you want that title or not. Customer service will also email you, so you don't have to log in and look for everything that's in red. They will usually send you an email and see if you still want the title. At the end of the open order list, it tells you how many titles you have on open order and the total dollar amount. Again, this is publisher's list price. Once you get to the invoiced screen, look at invoiced. And I'm going to look at, I'm going to look at October since it's early in November. I'll look at October and November. And it's basically the same kind of list, but it lists everything that we invoiced for this customer in October and whatever so far in November. It lists the title. It lists the invoice date, the invoice number, the order date, and now you've got the publisher's discounted price. So this is your actual price that you will pay for this book. You can click on the invoice number and it will pull up a copy of the invoice. How long this takes. And our invoices can be sorted pretty much however you want them. So if you want them sorted by title, PO, author, if you use fund codes, we can sort them by fund code. You can separate them by fund codes. So if you want certain things, I know, Lauren, it might have been you that wanted adult titles invoice separate from juvenile titles. So you can use that as a fund code and we would separate those out. We can ship them together, but they would have separate invoices. It does tell you, it's at the bottom, let's see, they don't have any processed books. Oh, they do. They had 14 titles processed on this invoice, and it gives you the total processing charges here at the end. You can have that on a separate invoice at the end of the invoice, or you can have it divided up and added to the price of the book on the invoice. Anything like this title right here was processed, so it's non-returnable. These books, this is an academic customer, so they're ordering some more obscure kinds of things. So these are non-returnable if they might have been out of print or some small publisher that won't let us return to them. So, but it will indicate on the invoice if something is non-returnable. Otherwise, everything is returnable. If it's damaged, if it's the wrong book, anything like that, you just call customer service and they'll take care of it for you. You can also see all your invoices under view invoices, track shipments. So it gives you the invoices in date order. You don't have to look up a specific book. It tells you if they've been paid or they're still outstanding, and it gives you the UPS tracking link. So if you can't find something. That's pretty much how it works. It's fairly simple. And like I said, we're hoping to add some more things for y'all in the future that would provide you with better searching options. If you do set up any kind of standing orders, the award winners or the authors lists, we do list them on here so that you'll see everything you have set up for automatic shipment. When we'll go back 7 years, so it tells you when the last one shipped, which ones are pending. If we have a date for these pending ones, we'll put, here's one that says due, not until 2026. So we try to list all of this on here for you as well. All of this information's on here, but we do have a customer service person that handles the same accounts I handle. So as far as needing something answered, you got a question about a shipment or an invoice or anything, they are there sitting in the office to answer those questions for you. So don't feel like you have to go in here and try to figure out whether something's shipped or not. You can always just call and ask. Anything, Lauren, that I left out that jumped out at you? I mean, I know you've seen this little demo before.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for going over all of that. We actually do have some more questions in the chat
Okay.
as we went
Okay.
on. And one of them is to clarify, is there only an option to have one account with multiple users where everyone can see what each other has done?
Right now, you can have multiple accounts if you want to. We try to keep it to one account just to make it more simple, but you can have as many users as you want to on that account. Right now, you cannot view another user's cart. So if you have 2 users and then the person that does the ordering, the only way for the person that does the ordering to see what's in the cart is for them to either log in as that user, or when the user transmits the cart, it will go to the administrator for ordering and then they'll see the cart. We've talked about this too in the past, about having folders instead of carts where people can go in and see the different, what other people are doing. What it will do is tell you that somebody else already has it in their cart. So if you have 2 selectors, one of them selected a book and put it in the cart, the other one goes in and looks at that book, it will pop up and say, this book has already been selected and it's sitting in Mary's cart. So they'll know where that is.
Okay, great. Is there a professional review integration? So like with Baker and Taylor, we could see reviews, professional reviews of the different books that we're searching.
Right now, there's not. We have one in here. It's a subscription and it's an academic review source, it's Choice. But we have talked about getting a Publishers Weekly or Kirkus or one of those review sources in here as well. It would probably be a subscription cost to that. Since we don't charge for this system, we have to pay the review source for their information. So we would probably just pass that on to the customer. But that is one of the things that's on our list to add so you can see some reviews.
Great. And then another question too, is only one user able to place all the orders? So like, is it going through, I guess if you want to order the cart and then, sends it off to someone else to approve it and send it out?
Right. That's our basic setup, is that one person has the ability to actually approve the orders and then there's selectors underneath that person. But if you have multiple people who have the authority to order, we can set up multiple administrators so they can all send orders. That does give everybody the ability to add more users and delete users and change passwords. So if you don't want everybody to have that access, we have the option to set up routing. So you can set up different routes, and one selector can send their carts to head of the department to review, and then the head of the department sends it to somebody to actually order. So however intricate your ordering process is, we should be able to set up a route that will accommodate that.
Perfect. And then there's another question too. Are there plans to make it clear if a title is out of print? Baker and Taylor would label things as out of print so we know, and you need to get a different edition of that title.
There are some titles in our system that say they're out of print. They don't all, because things go out of print so quickly nowadays. And that's tends to be more of an academic library issue. I'm not so sure they go out of print as quickly for public libraries if you're ordering new popular stuff. But we're trying to get more information from the publishers, because we download the files from the publishers weekly as soon as they send us the information. And so we're trying to get them to send us more of that information so that we can load it into the system, and it would show that for you. However, if you order something from us and it's out of print, it depends on how you set your account up. If you want us to go hunt down that out of print book, we can set you up an out of print account. So we send it over to that department and they search for it. If you don't want us to search for it, if you just want it to cancel and then you find another edition, you can tell us, cancel my out of prints. You can ask us to tell you, if there's another edition available. This one's out of print, but there's another edition available. We can tell you that. Or we can just get right back to you and say, this is out of print, it's canceled, and then you can look for another edition at that point. So, don't feel like you have to know that as you're searching. So if you order something, we'll pretty quickly turn that around and tell you what the status is as far as things we can't get for you.
Another question is like, how do you see if there's more info about a specific title, like a summary or a page count? Is there anything that like describes the book?
Right now, there's not, but that is another thing that we're adding, that we're asking the publisher to send us that information in their files so we can import that into our system. And a lot of it's there. We've just never really needed to have it imported, but now it's becoming more and more important to the public libraries. So we are looking at, with this new version that comes out, bringing in that sort of stuff that has a synopsis about the book, or it has the page count or the size of the book and that sort of information. So we've kind of been going through that information to decide, do we need this or do we don't need it? So it's nice to know you need to know what the page count is. So we'll try to add those things as we can.
Great. There's just a question too that we've had in previous meetings, and like with pre-published books, would we be getting those before the street date by any chance, or what's
Yes, we have just started implementing that right before all of this happened. So we had one customer that asked for this, and we've got it in place for them. We used to, when we saw something was not yet published, we would hold it until it was actually published and then order it and get it to the customer. They were academic customers. They didn't care about the street date. So now, as we get things that are not yet published, we go ahead and place the orders with the publisher. So as soon as the publisher has the book printed and they can ship it out to all the vendors, they will ship it to us and we'll turn it around and send it to you by that street date. If you're getting it cataloged and processed, it might hold it up a day or two. If you're, way far away and it takes 5 days to ship something to you, it might take a little bit longer. But so right now we're kind of tweaking that to make sure we can get it to you on that street date. The customer that we've been doing it for has gotten some of them like the day after, so it's pretty close, but we're working on getting that so that you will have them by that street date.
Okay, great. Is there any other questions from anyone or anything that we want to add? I don't see any more questions in the chat. Was there anything else that you wanted to add, or?
No, I would just say, if you think of anything that, we didn't discuss here, feel free to send me an email. And I don't know how you want to do this, Lauren, but my email address is human, HUMAN, @midwestls.com. And I will answer any questions that you have. If anybody wants temporary passwords to go in and play around with our system, I can set those up for you as well. They're good for about 90 days, I think. And then if you open an account, they become live. So we just have one form to fill out to open an account. And if you want cataloging and processing, we have a couple of forms there as well. So feel free to reach out to me if you need any of that or need my assistance in helping to set up an account or something. I'm happy to do it.
Great. And I'm going to put it in the chat, but it's human@midwest.com. Was that your email?
Midwest LS.
LS.
For library service.
Got it. .com. Okay. I'll send that in the chat now. And all right. Well, thank you so much for taking your time, answering our questions, and
You are so
thoroughly.
welcome.
And yeah, thank you again.
Okay, thank you. Good luck. I know y'all are, it's trying times.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Cindy.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, Matt? 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 Matt?
Sorry, I had to step
Hi.
away. I was
Oh.
like in the other room.
No worries. Just two very quick things.
What's up?
Could you send me the attendance for